Hello, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you find yourself in this weird, wild, wacky world of ours. Tonight, we go back to Unmasked Orlando, where Jason Davos, after returning from a little bit of a expedition, so to speak, is or has been texted by a friend of his, Miss Alex, who has apparently some important information for him. So we will start our scene down with Jason just arriving at Alex's place and knocking at her door, which he will then knock at.
Well, you didn't do the knocking. Okay, that's some good knocking there. Alex will go to the door, open the door, smile at Jason. Uh,
Alex.
Hello, Jason. She'll give him a little peck, greet him in. Sorry for not contacting you earlier. I had a guest here for a few days.
It's all right. I was away on business anyway. How have things
Okay,
been in
good.
Orlando?
Please, follow me instead. There's a lot to discuss.
Of course.
That's the living room, by the way, the image.
He kind of sits down, takes off his coat, hangs it up wherever you have a space, and he's very formal. You notice that he's. It looks like he either maybe flew here or missed it here. You're not entirely sure, but because there was no car out front.
Uh, well, he must be the only person still wearing a coat in Orlando.
Well, some of the business I had to do was up north, where it's just a little bit colder, and I had to keep up appearances, of course.
That's true. Um, any news on your side?
Well, there's a little bit of intensity happening in Chicago and in Dublin, but other than that, not much is happening. It's actually a little bit quiet on the East Coast, which makes me a little bit unnerved, although there may be some stuff happening up in Chicago very soon. So we'll
Well,
see.
uh, when you left Orlando, everything was fine. Now, let's
Oh, dear me.
say we opened a pretty big can of worms here.
Uh-huh. Why don't you tell me what kind of worms you opened up?
Well, I will tell you because I don't think that you would even imagine if I
Roll
told
a
you to think what's the worst thing that you could possibly think could have happened.
roll a perception check when you say worms, or when Jason hears worms.
Ah, fuck. Okay, one sec. Because of course I forgot to open my character sheet because I'm smart like that. Okay. Perception with what? What?
Like for telling lies. This the same thing you normally do.
Oh God! Shit. Ah, shit. Mm.
My God, I got 3 hits. How is that even possible?
Oh, fuck. I got four.
Still beat me. Still fucking beat me. Yeah, when you notice that there's a very, very slight twitch at when you say worms, but then when you start talking about it, it immediately goes away.
Okay. So if I told you the thing was the worst thing that could possibly happen, that doesn't involve the Sabbat, it probably has.
So, a rampaging elder or ancient salubri?
Actually, you're fairly close. I assume you haven't spoken to your Primogen yet, correct?
I have not had a chance. I just only recently came back from business last night.
Okay. I don't know when to start. Well, remember after our outing, like I think it was the next evening, there was a pool party down at the Chantry. So we went there. I was there with my child and with Thorn. I don't know if you remember Thorn. You met him
Oh
briefly
yeah, indeed, I remember them.
at the hotel. Yeah.
Yes.
Well, we were in a hot tub with the prince and with Conrad and with Katya. And Thorn got a little excited and started talking about things he shouldn't be talking about, like that he was looking for Nodist knowledge specifically. And when that happened, do you remember the Tremere neonate from our little meeting with the sheriff the other day?
Yes, I do.
So that guy came out and started reciting.
I can already see this is taking a turn for the worst.
Oh, he uh, just just wait, because it gets better. Katya immediately leaves the hot tub and takes the neonate inside. And when she says neonate, she's doing the air quotes. And from what I understand, there was a screaming match. Next thing I know, both the prince and Conrad are frozen in place and can't move, can't talk, can't do anything. So Thorn asks them if he wants them to go in and intervene, and they give him a nod. So he drags me there. I still had no idea what was going on, by the way. And I go inside. I see this what's his name, Mikael or something, whatever. Anyway, that's not his real name. And Katya's jaw has been dislocated, so my first instinct was to just run to her and whisk her away from this maniac. Only I couldn't because I was also frozen in place. And a moment after that, both myself and Thorn and little Ely, who was also there, were flung to the other side of the room like we were nothing.
This kindred that attacked you, is he a member of the White Tower? Or the Ivory Tower, sorry?
Mm, we'll get to that.
Because he just came into the domain of the prince, or at least the domain of a associate of the prince, and used powers on the prince. That, from what I understand, is a major no-no here. So
Mm,
what's going on?
that's what I'm trying to explain you. Anyway, Thorn managed to talk him down enough to get Katya out of there, but not that it matters. So this fine man is actually Katya's sire, also Conrad and Castile's sire.
What is his name?
His name is Marcus von Essen,
Hmm.
and he was supposed to be dead. He was left staked to the sun, but somehow he's here now and he has changed his face. So, what we know so far is that both Katya and the prince and Castile are pretty much controlled by him and possibly blood bonded. Conrad is the only one who is, free of him. Incidentally, that Marcus guy is Conrad's twin.
Lovely.
Um, so he's an elder. Last Conrad checked, he was sixth gen. So,
He's an old one. Understood.
well,
Okay.
he could have been even less now because he might have picked up some more things, I suppose. From what he said, he changed his face, so that could be. one or the other, but I've learned to expect the worst. And he's also a member of the Red List, so we will be having a Red Alistair coming in the city soon.
Do we have any phoenixes coming in?
We have a Red Alistair, and that's that. The Primogen have been notified, and effectively there is no prince and there's no Primogen Council at the moment because of that whole deal.
And are Katia and the prince up and walking, or have they been kidnapped, or
I am guessing they must be at the Chantry now. I don't know. I haven't had any contact with either of them since that happened. I've only been in contact with Conrad and with Arjun.
okay? What do you want to do about it?
Well, we'll see what the Alistair does and if there's any changes coming. But this guy has a cult following him, so we will do some snooping with them, see if at any point we'll be able to find him outside the Chantry. But it's not going to be easy. He's very powerful. Not necessarily physically strong, but powerful in other ways. We will have to wear him down quite a bit in order to be able to deal with him. And oh, he can also teleport. Hmm, forgot to tell you about that. So
Well,
yeah,
he is Tremere. That would not surprise me.
yeah.
All right.
So things are quite dire.
I'll have to talk with the Primogen as well. Well then, seems we have a little excitement on our hands here.
Hmm. Yeah.
All right.
The thing is, I'm really. It's in my personal best interest that we manage to somehow restore Prince Darian in place.
And what does Prince Darian say about all this?
I wouldn't know. I haven't contacted him. He's
Let's see.
compromised at the moment, but
Hmm.
the alternative would not go very well for either of us and many others that I know.
Wish I had learned about this before I left for Chicago. I could have brought back some help. All right. Um. Well, I'll get to snooping and see what I can do. Just keep me posted. Is there anything you
Um,
would like me to do?
for now, don't do anything unless you're instructed by Howie. Because we don't know. We're still waiting for the Alistair to arrive. And let's hope that everything goes well.
Yes, let's hope everything goes well. He kind of looks blank for a moment, and then he thinks, and he's like, "Could you say that name again? His name." Just
Marcus Van Essen.
where have I heard that name before?
I don't know, but he was supposed to be dead for, from what I understand, over a century.
Huh. I swore I've heard that name before. Anyway, okay. So we've got at least somewhat of a game plan going. All right, and all right. I guess that's all then. And you can see that he's getting somewhat eager, and he's like, "Not that I'm trying to overstep my bounds, but good tussle is what I needed." Um.
Well, that's more than a good tassel.
Oh, he's going to be quite the tussle if we ever do fight this one. I can feel it.
Well, I can
Especially.
tell you, I was there. You know what I can do.
Yeah, apparently he threw you across the room.
And apparently I couldn't do anything.
I've got to admit, I haven't gotten to that point yet. He makes a little joke. He's like, maybe I should ask him for some pointers if he was able to throw you across the room so easily.
Well, he didn't do it physically.
Ah,
That's the
mentally.
thing.
Oh, that's even better. I really got to learn that.
Hmm. Careful now.
Alas, the Tremere will probably never
Oh,
teach me their secrets.
well, I think I forgot to tell you something very important about him.
Go on.
He's an infernalist.
Why am I not surprised?
Well, just
Typical.
you have to know. So, yeah, do not try anything. If we do something about it, we're gonna do coordinated altogether.
Yep, Jason appears to kind of be. When you start talking about infernalism, you can see that he's kind of in thought now. He's real deep in thought. Like something's trying to come up, but it just doesn't come up, and then he just kind of shakes it off.
Um, what's on your mind? You seem very
Oh,
thoughtful.
I'm just going over information that I know. Just thinking about some things I've heard, things I heard on my little expedition up north. Um, all right. Like I said, keep me posted, and I'll be around. Um, be careful what you text because if he has any sort of contacts, he may be tracking your communications. It might be best just to simply do the old fashioned way, if possible.
Mm, the old-fashioned way. What, through a landline?
Talking.
Or do you want me to send you a letter next time?
I don't know.
Should I get a carrier pigeon?
And he says, well, I used to have some carrier pigeons. I haven't gotten them brought
Oh,
over to Orlando yet.
why am I not surprised?
It's very handy when you've got a lot of Nosferatu always hacking your phones.
I don't think the Nosferatu are my concern at the moment. As for this guy, I don't know. He hasn't contacted me or anyone I know of.
Did you want me
Through
to do some investigation? I'm quite good at that.
no, I absolutely don't want you to do any investigation. I want you to stay safe.
Of course. Um, all right. I can do
Well,
that.
if I assume that there's going to be a lot of coordination going on with with all the elders, all the rest of us, and I guess if they deem it necessary for you to offer your services in such a way, then yes, but it's not up to me.
Of course.
Of course,
Then I will.
I can't tell you not to do it. I can suggest not to do it and advise not to do it. But you're your own man.
He looks at you for a bit and then he says, well, if you were to ask me nicely. No, I'm just kidding. Just kidding. Um, well, I suppose I'll be off then unless you'd like me to stay here.
Well, I have to wonder, do you have anything better to do?
Tonight? No, I really don't have anything better to do.
Then I guess it's up to you.
Well, it was a very long journey.
Maybe you want to relax in my hot tub.
That sounds like a very good idea.
She will show him to the balcony where the hot tub is.
Oh, it's a balcony hot tub, even better.
Of course, the balcony hot tub with a view of the lake.
Awesome sauce. If that's the
Uh,
case,
I don't think I have images though, because the images disappeared for this property. Because
that's fine.
apparently it gets sold.
Well, I think we'll let the camera fade to black in that instance then, as they
Yeah.
go and have a nice evening on the premises. Thank you, players, for playing. Thank you, watchers, for watching.